again, I mean, the guy, he built, he was X that he owned, but then PayPal, and he sold for hundreds of millions of dollars, right? While he was undertaking that, I'd be amazed if he was spending 15 minutes driving around trying to find a house to buy to make an extra $300 of passive income. That's not passive, by the way. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I get it. And thank you for explaining, because that's our goal, right? We want to be the Googles and the Teslas to be able to create and impact the world such a way, but we've got to get there first, right?
Yep.
And so
I would just, if I may, sorry, Christine, if I just may, like if you introduce me to a $10 million and above company, I'll introduce you to an HR company. Okay, that might just be for your listeners to really understand what we're talking about here. Like that, when you get to that level, you go into the business of recruitment, those A+ people that I was describing earlier. That's how you do it. That's how you crush it. So there you go.
Yeah. Now you're giving me flashbacks. That's how I felt about managing a team of 160 when I had a $10 million a year company, because it's just, it's about people and having the best people, which is easier said than done when you're in the entertainment industry. But so let's talk on our last note about the profit acceleration software, which I am so in love with, and I think people would love to know more about that, what it is that you created here.
Okay, so if they want to see it in action, they should be reaching out to you. But let me so here it is. So the genesis of it is I have a process where I can find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. To the untrained eye, that sounds a little bit grandiose, and how the heck did you ever do that? So basically, we train coaches around the world, 24 countries we currently operate. Well, a lot of them were making a meal of it, right? Like I could literally do it on a napkin, but what we did is we turned it into software, because ultimately what we're trying to do is set the standard for the entire business coaching profession. So the worst coach and the best coach, we're kind of bringing them together, right? So, which is a lofty undertaking and a decade-long undertaking. But anyway, so if I were to find somebody $100,000, what would I do? If I wanted to put, not just find the money, but I wanted to put it in your bank account, what would I do? Where would I go? So when you use profit acceleration software, we've broken it down into 12 most important areas that you need to basically create. So like examples: upsell, downsell, cross-sell, proper upfront offer, right? So like our proper upfront offer as business coaches, that we can find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without spending a dollar on marketing or advertising. I could say that to Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Mark Cuban, I don't care who. They're going to go, wow, how do you do that? I just accomplished step number 1 of the sales process, which is to make you curious, and then I set up an appointment from there, right? So that would be an example of our upfront offer. My question to the plumber, the dentist, the chiropractor, the butcher, baker, candlestick maker: what's your compelling offer? And they don't have one. We need to establish it, right? And then think cross-sell. Like you go to McDonald's and they say, do you want fries with that? But you can go into a burger shop 7 doors down in many countries that don't have McDonald's on the front, go order a burger and Coke, and guess what? They won't say, do you want fries with that? It's crazy. Or another example is that we'll go into, let's say we're helping a lawyer. They got a big law firm doing $10 million a year. They got, dozens of lawyers working for them. What's their example? Do you want a will with that? Right? That could make a law firm $100,000 to $1 million net. And then the bigger picture is that it's not just, yes, they're going to make more money, which is important. But if you know anybody that's passed away, like Tony Hsieh passed away just recently, he's worth $900 million and he doesn't have a will. Do you know the infighting that is on the way in Tony Hsieh's estate? Could you imagine, right? $900 million getting broken up. And that, guess what? That could create rifts in the family for centuries to come that didn't need to. A will, you're crazy not to have a will, and any individual's crazy not to have a will, but 80% don't have one, right? So what I'm getting at is that the law firm's going to make more money, but more importantly, they're facilitating a really good thing for their clients, and they're going to net some huge profit. So that would be an example of where the software will naturally and organically take you: upsell, downsell, cross-sell, proper upfront offer, et cetera. So I got the 12 specific areas. And then, as you know, we are on a mission. We've got, software engineers and professionals working on it right now to update it, to upgrade it, We're not talking about bugs here. We're talking about massive developments that make it significantly more functional and create, because ultimately it's got 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences that basically we whip your business through, and then it populates a roadmap that you then use to basically take the $100,000 that I just described and basically realize it either with a coach or we, print off your roadmap and provide it for you and say good luck. But you'd be crazy not to get the accountability. So that's the software. Anything else you would add, Christine? Did I do a good job of that, or anything you'd add?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the thing is to have literally a Google Maps navigator by your side that it's so dazzling, and to be able to assign accountabilities and to be, a roadmap, your choice. What are we going to focus on the next month, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, and actually and take the thinking out of it, right? You talked about that last week about, am I going to do this thing, or am I going to have to make a decision about that thing? And you talk about that all the time with Mark Zuckerberg gets up and wears the same sweatshirt and, jeans every single day, not because he can't afford a better wardrobe.
It's decision fatigue. It's decision fatigue. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So let's give us your one thing for today that we can take away.
My one thing. Like last week, I think I might go off the board here. Here's something that, again, I'm just thinking like, if I was listening to this, what's some really good advice that I think that I could give folks? I get asked, so what we do, we facilitate business coaches, but it doesn't matter, again, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, what you're doing. You've got a business, and let's say you're making $100,000 now, and you want to make $250,000. How do you do it? Here's the mistake that people make: is they make $100,000, and then they make, say, 130 the following year, or they made 70 and now they're making 100. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. Let's just assume we made an extra $30,000 of profit. Well, what they do is they take the 30 grand and buy a boat. They take the 30 grand and they buy a BMW. So if you ever wondered, like, why do these athletes always go broke? And it's the exact same reason. It's always letting your personal, quote unquote, stuff. That's the boat, that's the Sea-Doo, that's the sports car, the convertible, what have you, or the 5 Series BMW instead of the 3 Series BMW. That's where you get caught up. So that's the problem. What's the solution? The solution is that you go from 100 to 130 grand, create a feedback loop, and take the 30 grand and buy advertising with it. That's what you do. Don't go to Disney. And by the way, you should look after your family. And if you want to have cool things, I got cool things. Christine lives on a boat, for goodness sakes, right? So I'm always very jealous of her. But you live a kick-ass lifestyle. In no way, shape, or form am I telling you not to. But if you want to legitimately go from 100 to 130 and then end up at 250 grand, you need a feedback loop. And I would dare say that you don't have one. Okay, so again, take those profits and feed them back into your company. So if you kind of picture input, thing in the middle, and then output on the right? So like 3 boxes. You got to take your output, which is the money, and then you got to feed it back into the input. And inputs are all kinds of stuff: new staff, new products, new services, definitely advertising, marketing, what have you. That's what I would recommend. So create a feedback loop for yourself. And stop taking the profits of your company, and prostituting them out for BMWs and boats. Because the other problem with the boat, Christine, or not your boat, you live on your boat, right? But like the guy who goes to buy the motorboat is when you buy it, you got to go ski on the bastard. You got to go use it. And then that takes you away from your quote unquote thing, right? You buy a Ferrari, you feel like you got to go and drive the thing, which you should. And that's what you do. But is this a good, you know what I mean? Like, is that taking you away from your thing? That can stop you from going from 100 to 250. And then that's a really good way to go from 100 back to 75. Because now you're spending all your time doing stuff, right? Like the professional athlete, like who lets us, the earrings and the necklaces and the cars and everything, spiral away instead of buying assets, like real estate. So a little bit of a pet topic there, but creating a feedback loop. If they just Google my name and feedback loop, they'd be able to see me talking about this in my daily email, which I kind of like that topic and like that one. That's something they could do. But there you go. That would be my last bit of advice, and that was a bit off the board. So there you go.
Well, I love it, and I do not miss your daily emails. I read them every single day like it's the Bible. And I listen to the podcast, Business Coaching Secrets, and check out Karl at focus.com to learn more. We are so lucky to have you here back-to-back weeks, and thank you so much for bringing so much great value to this conversation.
Oh, you're welcome, Christine. And just again, I want to make sure that I honor you, Christine. I have learned a lot from you. I have loved, you've been with us, we've been together and had, a zillion conversation. It feels like this. No doubt a lot of this is
5 years
for you, but hopefully it's something new for them. But I really appreciate you. I want to honor you. And again, the software, which is freaking game-changing on steroids, I want to encourage everybody listening to take their business and have it rip through the 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences we've created. If you want to do that, Christine's your gal. So, but Christine, most of all, I want to honor you, and I'm really happy to be here, and you're awesome. The end.
Thanks, bud. Right back at you. Take care, everybody. Awesome. Listen to these recordings over and over again. There's so much value.